honorable judges, good day. My name is Pierre Huang. I'm here today with my teammate Carl, he is the challenger, Manchi, she is the timekeeper, and Jessie, she is the peacekeeper. We are the team leveraged, and here we're going to present you the sustainable strategies for Huawei Canada for the next 5 years. Our agenda today consists of the current situation, the scenario analysis, the strategy and plans, the distance and impact, and finally the risk mitigation. In our analysis of current situation, we use the past method to divide it into 4. My friend Carl will brief you on that.
Here is our past analysis. First, in policy factor, we found that the founder of Huawei, Ren Zhengfei, is a former engineer of the Chinese People's Liberation Army. This background made him have more possibility to spy on the user of Huawei, to get more information and later give it to the Chinese government for political purpose. In economy factor, since China is developing rapidly, there is a huge potential that the 5G technology of Huawei may replace the dominant status of US in telecom industry. A trade war between China and the US is likely to happen in the future, and it may influence Canada's diplomatic policy greatly. As for the social factor, since the Americans trying to stop Huawei in Canada, the local support is needed. Huawei has done many things well to gain the trust from Canada, municipal government, from what the mayor of Ottawa said. He is very happy to work with Huawei and he has visited the HQ of Huawei in Shenzhen. Being sociable with Canada is a must for Huawei to move forward. Finally, in technology factor, Huawei has comparative advantages in its 5G technology, cloud computing technology, and advanced telecom equipment to provide further solution to clients. Next, my partner Pierre will present further scenario analysis.
Now, let's move on to the scenario analysis. As you can see in this figure, the revenue of Huawei boosts in the recent 10 years. In 2008, Huawei entered Canada, and just 4 years later, he became the world's largest telecom equipment vendor by sales. The core competitiveness of Huawei are sorted out as the 5G technology, such as the infrastructure and smart chips, and cloud computing technology, the distributed innovation strategy, the global credentials, and localization strategy. There are also opportunities for Huawei to do better. For example, in this figure, Huawei has the highest revenue, but its research and development cost to revenue is the lowest. The second, Huawei gains reputation and trust from the local government, such as Ottawa government. Furthermore, the comparative advantage of turnkey solution of Huawei from the cell phone carrying smart chips to the cloud computing technology and infrastructure, Huawei has made himself outstanding among its peers. To seize this opportunity, we will utilize the IRR strategy. The first one will invest more on equipment of mobile broadband service since the Canada market is yet comparable to the advanced markets. Second, since Huawei focuses on the next generation mobile technology, we recommend that Huawei recruits more IT PhDs so that the internal communication in the R&D session will be benefited and will be improved. Third, we'll raise the proportion of R&D cost to the revenue. Our target to surpass the Ericsson in 3 years.
Now let us move to challenge identification. First one is the Chinese background administration. Recently, Huawei's Chinese background raised a red flag among American consumers, especially after the media widely reported that Huawei CEO Ren Zhengfei was a former engineer in the People's Liberation Army. They concerned that Huawei might be undertaking espionage activities for the Chinese government. The market opportunities narrowed, and Huawei failed to win contracts in US. These kind of misperceptions and rumors have been the shadow of Huawei, affecting Huawei's reputation, and it may well result in some negative press for Huawei in Canada and could have marred Huawei Canada's potential to make future deals. In terms of actions to overcome this challenge, we develop HSBC strategy. First strategy is Huawei Canada subsidiary can prepare to be listed on the share market, which means Huawei Canada is willing to accept the supervision from Canadian government and the Security and Exchange Commission. Second strategy is Huawei Canada should stop receiving cheap loans from Chinese banks, as case studies show, and try to cooperate with Canadian local banks in order to eliminate concerns about collusion between Huawei and the Chinese government. Third strategy is board of director rotation. Huawei can rotate its CEO position in order to eliminate the concerns from our countries. Fourth strategy is crisis management. Huawei can have a press conference globally or especially in Canada to clarify their position, lest they have no reason to engaging in spying activities and deny the rumors. As a result of these actions, Huawei can eliminate the suspicion from Canadian government and the public and lead to a better opportunities to make future deals in Canada.
Now I will talk about the second challenge, which is the cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is a main concern in the North America, especially in US and Canada. US claim that the military background of Huawei is a hidden danger to them. Many experts in US also came out with research reports concluding that Huawei was engaged in spy and espionage activities through telecommunications equipment business. To solve this problem, we will suggest Mr. Yang to establish a joint venture company with Canadian company and accept the supervision of the Canadian government. Forming a joint venture with a local company can effectively avoid the mistrust issue due to the irrationality of betraying own company. From this situation, we will also advise Mr. Yang not to neglect the protection of Huawei trade secret. To protect the existing technology, Mr. Yang should carry out the pre-stage layout with applying patents and copyright and do a comprehensive investigation. Huawei can also design a contract that suits the current situation of the R&D process that involving technology attributions, labor and personnel system. This is to avoid confidential leakage through restriction of contract. Another challenge faced by Huawei in Canada is the effect of trade war. Canada's softened border with the United States connected them together with a good and long-time relationship. The trade war of US with China more or less had affected the trade relationship between Canada and China. Huawei need to hire lobbyists to convince the Canadian government and declare their standpoint of friendly trade before the Canadian government take any actions on trade with Chinese. Other than that, Huawei should also hold a press conference to clarify the contributions and odds of Huawei to the public, to eliminate the panic and anti-friendly emotions of the public. According to many of the world rankings, Huawei smartphone was the second ranking smartphone in the world. Huawei should use this as a dominant strategy to pursue the consumer.
The distance impact shows that we'll keep a 0.5% annual growth of R&D versus revenue for the first 3 years. We'll do the press conference and investment in mobile broadband service in year 1, establish joint venture and complete the BOD rotation in year 2, start the profit and in terms of broadband service investment and terminate all the Chinese cheap loan in the year 3. And finally, we will renovate our crew in Canada by the PhDs and complete the preparation of joint venture IPO, achieve a CAGR of 5% in around year 4 and year 5. Surely there will be risks that is unforeseeable for now. So what we're going to mitigate these risks unforeseeable? The first one might come is the pressure from the Chinese government. Since our HQ is in China, what we're gonna do is to reject the unreasonable request from the Beijing government. We try to do so. Also, since the Huawei and China is developing rapidly, it may cause the trade war between the China and US. What we're gonna do is to further our localization strategy. We localize ourselves by joint venture, and we persuade we will not harm